Yeah. So I've mentioned before about that translated playthrough of the game I saw, and I got to see this the first time, and now I'm about to play it myself. Oh, this will be awesome. So the dubious-looking Russian Mr. Roylott obviously what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. I saw the question mark. Now moving on. The question then begged is, why would you decide to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular, the fascinating front-page article, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals her true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. It's a little different, that beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decide to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik. Weren't you just accusing me of being that not that long ago? Like, last part ago? And now you've decided this guy fits the bill better. I mean, he does fit the bill better because he is actually Russian. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. Well, that's Holmes' conclusion for that he is Villain Bolshevik. What about the other conclusion? Now, as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealed inside, we ask? By my estimation. A young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless... What is that? How... Whatever, it betrays him. I don't know what that word is. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Yeah. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Cough it up, old man. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' Great Deduction. of this Russian enigma, Elemensky. I'm guessing that's Russian for elementary? I don't know. Suzato-san, that was one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about. Was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Holmes's brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Holmes. Could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but... these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall a discussion earlier, and at the time I believe I told you. That the man is revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Holmes, Mr. Royla does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you push really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, she's 15, then 10 years worth of her will be poking out from the case. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of a small case. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Holmes. Ugh, this whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Holmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instantly. It's just, where he directs his attention is logic that seem a little off. Your idea of a little, maybe a little off itself, Miss Suzato. It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some keywords in his deductions. Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Holmes' great deduction. Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. And you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? Oh! Where are your handcuffs? Huh? How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Holmes, you are a marvel. How do you do that anyway? And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. Oh, gee, thanks. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Yeah, well now it's our turn. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. Alright, let's do it. So, we had this before. Obviously, what Holmes has noticed. The shears. Ah, but what purpose does he have for them? Yeah, so it's probably not the beard. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a keyword here now, Naruto-san, and see if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on. Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Holmes' deduction better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruto-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? Well, obviously to cut something. It's not the beard. Oh, well, I'd say it's that. What's this? It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks. No, the color is not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? How's it growing out from underneath his thick black hair? Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising. Something's definitely not right here.
Yes!
Well, I think that's the thing, clearly. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose, which you didn't do before. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. I'm already drawing conclusions. Oh no! If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. And we're gonna have to try and transition to a female Russian voice. Anyways, the question then begged is, why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals her true identity is not the article about the revolutionary. Well, we only have one other option there. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea that the old man was really a young woman in disguise. Did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise. Naruto-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts with Mr. Holmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. Sure you're not. This is strictly business, not strictly Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Holmes' deductions, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now. No, that's true, given that Mr. Roylott is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. And I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a whole different direction now. Yes. Yeah, so let's see what about the newspaper can tell us more. Which, clearly, I think you know what the answer is.
Yes!
Hold on. Are you quite concentrating? You've identified exactly what I did originally. Oh yeah, so I have. Sorry. Well, I do understand, as imitable as I am, people do like to try, but you won't make a great detective like that, nor even a great detective's assistant. An assistant's assistant, then? Alright, I'll think again. Okay, hold on. Oh, hold on. Can I skip past this? Okay, because I don't need to see this dialogue. Yeah, it's about her. This is interesting. Haven't found something relevant, Naohiro-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. Too bad we can't read it. But, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Alright. I'm glad you noticed this article. Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Holmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Nomovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented, young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Remember the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Shizao-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Nomovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They requested international assistance at all ports, with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyways, okay, now we have the article about her. Okay. Hold on.
Yes!
There we go. Now it is correct. The evidence that reveals her true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Nomovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Nomovich Ballet's prima ballerina, Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Gotcha. There we are. You're late. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Well, there we go. And I'm already thinking of the next deduction, and now it makes no sense. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. Yeah, so before he was saying it was the trunk, but it's really something else. What could it be? This woman is the ballerina. She's right in front of her eyes, so clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what is the crime this young woman was apparently committing? I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Holmes? Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. tiara. Wow, look at this dazzling tiara. I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on. What? Me? Isn't that usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful. Why does this tiara look familiar? Gee, I wonder where we've seen it. Well, anyways.
Yes!
There we go. The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed. It would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in the newspaper article. Okay, from my perspective, it looked like the game froze for a moment. I don't like that. And the reporting is to be believed is an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no! Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. Well, I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an earl? A Prussia. It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old. She's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Alright, I will tell you everything. There is no point in hiding it now. Come, come, let's not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup or whatever betrays you. Yeah, so now, where is she looking? Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written on the books in the shelf. He's completely changed tack with this deduction now. I think Mr. Holmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true, but still. Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. Then there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze is involuntarily drawn. I agree, that's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say this. Yeah, these are rules of passage. Yeah, so we've read this before. Ooh, that would suck. Well, okay. Naruhodo's already dealt with that. So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I? Anyways,
Yes!
I'm picking this. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time. But no weapon or other dangerous item will move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage, a pet. Don't stuff your pet in the traveling case. No, that's abuse. That's animal abuse. I will not accept that. Alright, thus concludes the deductions. So, go ahead and open the case for us. So clearly, you aren't who you said you were. No, I am not Glinsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. Boy, it has a huge steamship. A vast crew. Could you really have snuck on board without being noticed? I doubt it. In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave it well alone. So, if it was just you, about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? Oh, well, clearly her. That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. Like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself? So no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on the full hat and fake beard. Then just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper. Right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Yeah, they do. Things do indeed happen like that from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? You are right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If this captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew. Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night. Yes. Alright, I'll tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Was that something? Mr. Holmes' great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. And one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists. And the cuffs come back on. Ah, your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When and why? There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, but it can't be helped at the moment. Can't it? Really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Cosmo-sama wrote about in his diary really was. Okay, we'll do that. Next time. Alright, thank you all for watching. Next time, we're going to find out what Miss Pavlova knows about the events of last night. Alright, see you guys then. Take care, everybody.